At the heart of every ancient civilization lies a question so basic, yet so puzzling, it topples our understanding of the past. Why did these civilizations build doors towering at 50 feet? Start in Egypt, home to the imposing Temple of Karnak, where the great hypostyle hall features doorways so massive they dwarf the modern visitor. Imagine the awestruck faces of early explorers like John Gardner Wilkinson in the 1820s, who, despite meticulous documentation, were baffled by these oversized portals. Yet these marvels of architecture were not isolated. They repeat across time and geography, from the massive stone entrances of Mesoamerican temples to the cyclopean doors of Mycenaean Greece. How could such architectural wonders serve practical purposes, unless, perhaps, they weren't meant for humans at all? If so, then who, or what, were they built for? Peel back the layers and the plot thickens, with whispers of ancient giants and forgotten races. In 1786, renowned archaeologist Giovanni Belzoni uncovered the colossal doors of the Temple of Edfu. Carved with precision, these doors rise 50 feet high, adorned with hieroglyphs and images that no eye had seen for millennia. Belzoni's journals reveal that these doors were not merely entrances, but portals to realms unknown, with inscriptions hinting at mysterious ceremonies conducted by priests under the cover of darkness. The British Museum holds sketches that were quickly dismissed as imaginative flights, yet they speak of rituals that invite speculation. Could these doors have been built as conduits to the divine, or were they made by beings who towered above humans? The academic gatekeepers quickly sealed these findings, labeling them as mere architectural excess rather than evidence of a greater mystery. Such dismissals, however, only fuel the fire for those who seek the truth buried beneath the sand. In the shadow of the Andes, the Tiwanaku civilization left behind the enigmatic Gateway of the Sun, a doorway carved from a single massive block of stone. Its 50-foot stature looms over the barren landscape, casting questions rather than shadows. In 1848, Ephraim George Squire, an intrepid explorer, documented these mysterious doorways, noting their celestial alignments and intricate carvings depicting beings with elongated skulls. His notes, mostly ignored by academia, suggest these doors served as portals to other worlds or dimensions, a concept dismissed by the mainstream, yet embraced by those who have seen the evidence firsthand. The stones whisper secrets that the academic elite wish to remain silent. But the very existence of such doors in remote, ancient sites defies logical explanation, forcing us to reconsider the capabilities and intentions of those who came before us. Journey to the heart of Anatolia, where the ruins of Hattusa, the Hittite capital, stand. Here, the Lion Gate's 50-foot doors once marked the threshold to a city shrouded in mystery. Discovered in 1834 by Charles Texier, these massive gateways are adorned with lion sculptures that seem to guard secrets of a forgotten era. Texier's reports, preserved in dusty archives, describe the eerie precision and scale of these structures, suggesting knowledge beyond the conventional. The door's sheer size challenges the narrative of primitive societies, hinting at a lost technology or influence. Despite Texier's findings, modern historians have minimized the significance of these doors, attributing them to mere grandeur or defense. Yet, the question persists: why build such enormous entrances if not to welcome beings of a similar stature or to serve a purpose we have yet to comprehend? In the pages of history, one anomaly after another, the pattern emerges. From the towering doors of the Temple of Karnak to the celestial alignments of Tiwanaku, a narrative unfolds that defies the mainstream version of ancient history. Yet, the establishment, driven by fear of the unknown, actively suppresses these connections. They label them as myths or misinterpretations, burying the truth under layers of academic jargon and red tape. But the evidence is undeniable. These doors were not built for humans as we know them. They point to a forgotten chapter, one where gods, giants, or extraterrestrial visitors once walked the earth. The sheer scale and precision of these structures tell a story of advanced knowledge and lost civilizations. Before the final curtain falls, remember this: the answers lie not in the texts taught in classrooms, but in the stones that have stood for millennia. In the enigmatic landscape of Malta, the temples of Najdra and Hagar Kim stand as silent sentinels to a forgotten age. These megalithic structures, home to imposing doorways rising nearly 50 feet, were unearthed by Antonio Aneto Caruana in the late 1800s. Caruana's detailed observations speak of doorways aligned with solar events, hinting at a sophisticated understanding of astronomy. Yet, the true purpose of these massive constructs remains shrouded in mystery. Caruana's notes, locked away in dusty archives, hint at rituals that invoked celestial deities, but the mainstream narrative dismisses these as mere ceremonial extravagances. As the Mediterranean sun casts long shadows through the stone portals, one must question the official story that paints these societies as primitive. The truth, obscured by academic gatekeepers, is that these doors may have opened to realms beyond our comprehension, suggesting an ancient knowledge lost to time. Perched amidst the towering mountains of Peru lies the ancient city of Cusco, where the Inca left behind the remnants of Sacsayhuaman. The fortress's doorways, monumental in scale, measure up to 50 feet and are constructed with such precision that not even a blade of grass can fit between the stones. In 1877, explorer Ephraim George Squire noted these architectural feats, marveling at the seemingly impossible construction methods. His observations, largely ignored by contemporary scholars, suggest the use of technologies or techniques unknown to modern engineering. The stones, weighing over 100 tons, were moved and placed with such accuracy that defies explanation. Official records conveniently overlook these details, attributing them to slave labor and rudimentary tools. However, the scale and craftsmanship of these doors suggest an advanced understanding of physics and perhaps even levitation by means lost to history. In the heart of the Arabian Peninsula, the ancient city of Mada Sala, known to the Nabateans as Higra, reveals doorways carved into the sandstone cliffs, reaching heights of 50 feet. Discovered by Charles Montague Doughty in the 1870s, these entrances were sculpted with intricate details that rival even Petra. Doughty's travelogues describe these monolithic doors as entrances to vast tombs, yet their grandeur suggests a purpose far beyond mere burial sites. The Nabateans, known for their trade networks, might have interacted with civilizations possessing advanced knowledge. Despite this, the narrative remains tightly controlled, with official reports dismissing these doors as nothing more than artistic expressions. But the scale and intricacy suggest otherwise, pointing towards an era of lost wisdom and forgotten technologies, kept hidden from the public eye by those who guard the status quo. The dense jungles of Cambodia conceal the ancient city of Angkor Thom, where the Bayon Temple's entrances stand as colossal testaments to a forgotten empire. Discovered in the late 19th century by French explorer Henri Mouhot, these doorways soar to 50 feet, decorated with enigmatic faces that gaze serenely across the landscape. Mouhot's journals, teeming with awe, describe the temple as a place of worship and celestial observation. Yet, mainstream historians reduce these tales to mere architectural ambition. The doors, however, tell a different story, one of an empire that harnessed celestial energies and engaged with dimensions beyond our own. The intricacies of the carvings and their cosmic alignments suggest knowledge of astrology and perhaps otherworldly influences. Despite attempts to downplay these discoveries, the evidence etched into the stone remains, challenging the accepted narrative and hinting at secrets the jungle refuses to reveal. As the dust of history settles, the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. Across continents and cultures, the imposing 50-foot doors stand as silent witnesses to a forgotten epoch. Their uniformity in scale and purpose defies the fragmented narrative sold by academia, which insists on isolated development and primitive means. Yet, the evidence suggests a global exchange of knowledge, perhaps facilitated by entities or civilizations now erased from our textbooks. These doors are not mere relics of architectural excess. They are clues, hinting at a sophisticated understanding of the universe and advanced technologies lost to time. The academic gatekeepers, fearful of unraveling the tightly woven fabric of accepted history, dismissed these connections with a wave of the hand. But for those who dare to look beyond the veil, these doors beckon with the promise of truths buried deep within the sands of time. In the silent, weathered ruins of Persepolis, the ceremonial capital of the Achaemenid Empire, the gate of all nations stands as an architectural enigma. The towering doors, rising to 50 feet, once welcomed dignitaries from across the known world. Discovered in the 17th century by explorers who could scarcely comprehend its scale, these colossal portals were crafted from massive stone blocks, fitted with an accuracy that defies the tools of their time. The inscriptions, carefully chiseled into the stone, speak of divine kings and celestial authority. Yet, contemporary historians downplay their significance, attributing them to a mere display of power. The truth, however, is etched into every inch of the stone, suggesting a deeper connection with celestial phenomena and possibly serving as gateways to other realms. The academic gatekeepers, fearful of challenging established historical timelines, wave away these implications. But the evidence, plain as day, suggests a civilization with knowledge far beyond our understanding. Deep within the heart of northern India, the ancient city of Hampi hides the grandiose Virupaksha temple, where doorways stretching 50 feet high stand as relics of an era forgotten. British archaeologist Robert Sewell documented these marvels in the late 1800s, captivated by the temple's intricate carvings and towering portals. His writings, largely buried in academic obscurity, describe the temple as a center for astronomical studies and spiritual ascension. Yet, the mainstream narrative dismisses these structures as mere religious edifices, ignoring the possibility of advanced astronomical knowledge and metaphysical practices. The carvings, depicting celestial beings and cosmic phenomena, whisper of a civilization in tune with the universe. Sewell's ignored observations suggest the doors served as conduits for spiritual and scientific exploration, a hypothesis too radical for the academic elite to entertain. These ancient portals may hold the key to lost wisdom, forever concealed by those who fear its implications. In the forgotten deserts of southwestern United States, the ancient ancestral Puebloans erected the monumental doorways of the Chaco Canyon. Discovered by Richard Wetherill in the late 1800s, these structures defy conventional explanation with their precise solar and lunar alignments. Wetherill's notes, largely neglected by academia, detail a society deeply connected to celestial cycles, using these doorways as portals for observing the heavens. The scale and precision of these constructions suggest a sophisticated understanding of astronomy, dismissed by mainstream historians as primitive superstition. But the evidence, carved into the very rock, tells a different story. The academic gatekeepers, reluctant to challenge established paradigms, ignore the potential implications of such advanced knowledge. The towering doors of Chaco Canyon stand as silent testaments to a forgotten era of cosmic awareness, their secrets shielded by those who fear the truth might shake the very foundation of human history. Amidst the green-clad hills of Scotland, the ancient Brock Towers of the Orkney Islands harbor doorways of imposing stature. Uncovered by antiquarian George Lowe in the late 18th century, these structures, with their towering apertures, challenge the narrative of a primitive society. Lowe's meticulous fieldwork, often ignored by modern historians, reveals a people skilled in architectural feats and possibly engaged in rituals invoking natural forces. The Brock's doorways, aligned with solstices and equinoxes, suggest a complex understanding of seasonal cycles. Official accounts, however, reduce these marvels to mere defensive constructions, dismissing the possibility of deeper significance. The stones themselves whisper of an advanced culture, their secrets buried beneath layers of moss and historical oversight. These doorways, if truly understood, could unlock a chapter of human history filled with knowledge of the earth and sky, a chapter the academic elite prefer to keep closed. The echoes of the past reverberate through the towering doorways of ancient civilizations, each standing as a gateway to knowledge and power lost to time. Across the globe, from the deserts of Arabia to the highlands of Scotland, these structures defy the simplistic narratives offered by academia. Their scale and precision speak of advanced understanding and capabilities, hinting at civilizations that engaged with forces and realities beyond our comprehension. The academic establishment, entrenched in dogma, fears the unraveling of their carefully curated history. Yet, as each door stands firm against the tide of time, they invite us to question the stories we have been told. They challenge us to peer beyond the veil, to consider the possibilities of forgotten technologies, celestial connections, and ancient wisdom that defy the conventional. As the dust settles, one truth remains. The doors to our past are not just entrances, but invitations to explore the mysteries that lie beyond. Underneath the sprawling landscapes of the American Midwest, the Cahokia Mounds harbor secrets that defy the conventional understanding of pre-Columbian civilizations. At the heart of this ancient urban center, archaeologists have uncovered doorways of staggering dimensions, suggesting an architectural prowess that rivals even the grandest European cathedrals. In the late 19th century, Warren K. Moorhead's excavations exposed these colossal entrances, yet his findings were quickly buried under layers of academic skepticism. His detailed reports, which remain largely unpublished, describe not only the scale but also the complexity of the alignments with celestial bodies. These structures challenge the notion that the indigenous peoples of North America were simple hunter-gatherers. Instead, they point to a society deeply connected to the cosmos, utilizing advanced mathematical and astronomical knowledge. The gatekeepers of history dismiss these revelations as anomalies, fearing the implications of a rewritten narrative. However, the evidence continues to mount, whispering of civilizations sophisticated beyond our current understanding. Beneath the ancient sands of Mesopotamia, the ruins of Babylon reveal doorways of immense proportions, testaments to a civilization that thrived under the shadow of the ziggurats. Excavated in the late 1800s by Robert Coldway, these towering portals were intricately carved and adorned with symbols that spoke of cosmic order and divine authority. Coldway's extensive documentation, often overlooked by modern scholars, suggests these doors were more than mere passages. They were thresholds to the divine, aligned with the stars and planets in a celestial dance. The mainstream narrative, however, reduces them to mere architectural embellishments, ignoring the deeper significance encoded within the carvings. These structures hint at a profound understanding of the universe and humanity's place within it, a knowledge that has been systematically suppressed. The academic gatekeepers, steadfast in their adherence to a sanitized version of history, refuse to acknowledge the implications of such findings. In the windswept plains of Central Asia, the ancient city of Samarkand stands as a beacon of lost knowledge, its grand doorways rising to greet the heavens. Discovered by Russian archaeologists in the 19th century, these portals are adorned with intricate mosaics and geometric patterns, each a testament to the mathematical genius of the Timurid Empire. The reports, often sidelined, describe a civilization that harnessed the power of numbers to unlock the mysteries of the universe. The alignment of these doorways with the stars and planets suggests an advanced understanding of celestial mechanics. Yet, the academic establishment labels these as mere artistic flourishes. The truth, hidden behind a veneer of dismissal, hints at a society that communicated with the cosmos, using architecture as a language to speak with the heavens. The evidence, ignored by those who fear its implications, remains etched into the stone, challenging the narrative of a linear progression of knowledge. Across the rolling hills of Ireland, the Neolithic site of Newgrange reveals doorways that penetrate time itself, their massive stones aligned with the winter solstice sun. Excavated in the late 19th century by Michael J. O'Kelly, these portals were described as mechanisms of rebirth and renewal. O'Kelly's findings, meticulously recorded yet often disregarded, suggest that these structures were not merely tombs, but celestial observatories and ceremonial gateways. The mainstream narrative, however, confines them to the realm of burial sites, ignoring the evidence of advanced astronomical knowledge encoded within their design. The academic gatekeepers, intent on preserving a simplistic view of history, dismiss the possibility that these structures reflect a sophisticated understanding of the cosmos. Yet the stones hold their secrets, pointing to a time when humanity walked in harmony with the universe, a knowledge that has been buried beneath layers of historical oversight. With each towering doorway unearthed, a more complex picture of human history emerges, one that transcends the simplistic narratives offered by conventional academia. Across the globe, these structures stand as monuments to a lost era, their scale and precision challenging the notion of isolated development and primitive capabilities. They whisper of a time when humanity possessed knowledge that bridged the earthly and the divine, a time when architecture was not just functional, but a means of communication with the cosmos. The academic gatekeepers, bound by tradition and fear of the unknown, continue to ignore these revelations, clinging to outdated paradigms. Yet, for those who dare to look beyond the accepted version of history, these doors offer a glimpse into a forgotten world filled with advanced understanding and cosmic connections. The stones, silent yet ever-present, challenge us to reconsider what we know, suggesting that the true story of our past is far more wondrous and complex than we have been led to believe. In the stillness of the Anatolian landscape, Göbekli Tepe stands as a profound mystery. Its towering T-shaped pillars and monumental doorways date back to a time when humanity was supposedly tethered to rudimentary survival. Discovered by Klaus Schmidt in the late 20th century, these structures predate Stonehenge and the Egyptian pyramids by millennia. Yet, what truly defies logic is the sheer size of these doorways and the sophistication of the carvings that adorn them. Schmidt's notes, often sidestepped by mainstream academia, suggest an advanced culture with a deep understanding of cosmic cycles and spiritual symbolism. The complex astronomical alignments of these doorways hint at a forgotten era when humanity walked in concert with the stars, a notion the academic elite stubbornly resist. Despite their attempts to categorize Göbekli Tepe as an anomaly, the site continues to provoke questions about the origins of civilization and the true breadth of ancient knowledge. As the sun rises over the Andes, the ancient city of Tiwanaku reveals its secrets in the form of the Akapana Pyramid and its adjacent monumental doorways. These structures, meticulously documented by Arthur Poznański in the early 20th century, challenge the prevailing narrative of a simple, agrarian society. Poznański's extensive research suggests that Tiwanaku was a hub of advanced astronomical and engineering knowledge, its doorways aligning with solstices and equinoxes with unparalleled precision. His findings, marginalized by contemporary historians, point to a civilization that engaged with celestial phenomena on a level that defies explanation. The academic gatekeepers, wary of disrupting the accepted timeline of human advancement, dismiss these insights as speculative. Yet, the evidence carved into the Andean stone remains undeniable, inviting us to reconsider the capabilities and achievements of ancient societies far removed from the primitive labels imposed by conventional history. In the heart of the Ethiopian highlands, the rock-hewn churches of Lalibela stand as a testament to a lost era of architectural brilliance. Excavated from solid rock, these structures feature doorways of impressive scale, intricately carved to reflect a synthesis of earthly and celestial ideals. Discovered by Portuguese explorers in the 16th century, these churches were initially dismissed as legends. Yet, the reality of their existence and the precision of their construction defy the tools and methods attributed to their time. The academic narrative, eager to confine these structures to religious fervor, overlooks the possibility of advanced engineering techniques and astronomical knowledge. The doorways, aligned with celestial events, hint at a society that understood and revered cosmic cycles. Despite academic resistance, the evidence suggests these structures were more than places of worship. They were centers of knowledge, bridging the terrestrial with the divine. Beneath the sands of Egypt, the ancient city of Abydos hides the Osirian, a temple complex with immense doorways that challenge the understanding of pharaonic architecture. Unearthed by Flinders Petrie in the late 19th century, the Osirian's subterranean halls and doorways stand in stark contrast to the mainstream narrative of Egyptian history. Petrie's exhaustive records, often sidelined, suggest influences from a forgotten epoch where architectural knowledge and cosmic awareness were intertwined. The doorways, aligned with celestial bodies, imply a sophistication far beyond the accepted capabilities of the time. The academic establishment, steadfast in its commitment to a linear progression of history, minimizes the Osirian's significance, attributing its grandeur to artistic ambition. However, the evidence suggests a civilization deeply engaged with the cosmos, a hypothesis that threatens the foundational assumptions of historical scholarship. The Osirian stands as a monument to lost wisdom, its secrets buried under the sands of time. As the shadows lengthen across the pages of history, the question remains, why did ancient civilizations build 50-foot doors? These towering structures, scattered across the globe, defy the simplistic explanations offered by conventional academia. They invite us to consider the possibility of a world where architecture served not just functional or ceremonial purposes, but as a bridge to the cosmos, a means of engaging with forces and entities beyond our understanding. The academic gatekeepers, bound by the constraints of a linear historical narrative, dismiss these revelations as anomalies. Yet, for those who dare to look past the official stories, these doors offer a glimpse into a lost era of profound knowledge and cosmic awareness. The evidence, etched into stone and shadowed by time, beckons us to uncover the truths hidden beneath the surface of history, a history that may be far richer and more complex than we have been led to believe. As twilight descends on the ancient city of Petra, the immense doorways of the treasury stand as a testament to architectural mastery that defies time. Carved directly into the rose-red cliffs, these entrances soar to 50 feet, leaving visitors in awe of the Nabatean genius. Discovered by Johann Ludwig Burckhardt in the early 19th century, Petra's grandeur was nearly lost to history, its secrets buried by shifting sands. Burckhardt's notes, filled with wonder, suggest a civilization that possessed a profound understanding of both engineering and celestial mechanics. The treasury's doors, aligned with the solstices, hint at a sophisticated grasp of astronomical cycles. Yet, mainstream historians reduce these achievements to mere commercial or religious endeavors, ignoring the deeper cosmic connections. The academic establishment, wary of the implications, downplays the possibility of Petra being a center of ancient knowledge. But the evidence stands carved into the very cliffs, challenging us to see beyond the narrow confines of accepted history. In the heart of the Middle East, the ancient city of Palmyra reveals doorways of breathtaking scale, remnants of a civilization that connected East and West. Discovered by European explorers in the 17th century, these monumental entrances speak of a society that thrived on trade and cultural exchange. The doorways, rising to 50 feet, were meticulously documented by Robert Wood in the 18th century, who marveled at their intricate design and cosmic alignments. Wood's writings, however, have been largely dismissed by modern academia, which views Palmyra as nothing more than a trading hub. The truth, obscured by layers of historical oversight, suggests a city that harnessed celestial knowledge and architectural prowess to create portals of both physical and spiritual significance. The academic gatekeepers, protective of a linear historical narrative, resist acknowledging these revelations. Yet, the evidence, etched into the stones of Palmyra, invites us to reconsider the complexities of ancient civilizations. In the lands of the Far East, the Forbidden City stands as a marvel of imperial architecture, its grand doorways reaching heights that defy conventional wisdom. Constructed during the Ming Dynasty, these colossal entrances were designed not just for grandeur, but for cosmic alignment and spiritual significance. Discovered by Jesuit missionaries in the 16th century, the Forbidden City's architectural secrets were meticulously recorded, yet often disregarded by Western scholars. The doorways, aligned with cardinal points and celestial bodies, suggest a society deeply attuned to the cosmos. However, the narrative of the Forbidden City is often confined to its political significance, ignoring the deeper spiritual and astronomical insights. The academic establishment, reluctant to challenge established views, minimizes these connections. Yet, the doorways, with their intricate carvings and cosmic alignments, stand as a testament to a civilization that understood the universe in ways that continue to elude modern historians. In the mystical highlands of Scotland, the standing stones of Callanish rise majestically, their towering forms creating doorways that align with the lunar cycles. Discovered in the 17th century by antiquarians, these enigmatic structures were initially dismissed as pagan relics. However, detailed surveys in the 19th century revealed that these stones form a lunar observatory, aligning with the 18.6-year cycle of the moon. The academic gatekeepers, bound by a linear historical narrative, have struggled to incorporate this advanced astronomical knowledge into the broader story of human development. The mainstream narrative reduces these marvels to primitive rituals, ignoring the possibility of sophisticated understanding of lunar mechanics. The doorways of Callanish, aligned with celestial events, whisper of a society that engaged with the cosmos in profound ways. The evidence, etched into the stones and the land they stand on, challenges us to reevaluate the capabilities and wisdom of our ancestors. As we stand on the precipice of understanding, the question remains, why did ancient civilizations construct these monumental doorways? The evidence, scattered across continents, refuses to be ignored. These structures, with their celestial alignments and architectural mastery, suggest a level of sophistication that challenges the simplistic narratives of academia. The mainstream story of human history is one of isolated development and primitive means, yet these doorways tell a different tale. They speak of civilizations that engaged with the cosmos, possessed advanced knowledge, and left behind clues to a past far richer than we have been taught. The academic gatekeepers, wary of the implications, continue to resist these revelations, clinging to outdated paradigms. But the truth stands, carved into stone and shadowed by time, inviting us to look beyond the accepted version of history. As we uncover more of these mysteries, we are reminded that the story of humanity is far more wondrous and complex than we have been led to believe.